Good evening. Welcome to North West Tonight with Annabelle Tiffin. Our top story: police launch an investigation after human remains are found at a nature reserve in Salford.
From forensic inquiries so far, we believe that these remains are likely to have been here for a matter of days, and it really is a tragic case.
A member of the public made the grim discovery. Also tonight, fighting county lines drug dealing. More help for the vulnerable people caught up in it in Cumbria. Tears to cheers, from crying in front of millions to meeting his Manchester United heroes. 10 games in 2 weeks, how the northwest weather has ruined the football season for teams all around the region.
So, when is the rain going to stop? Are we going to continue to see rainbows? Join me at the end of the programme and I'll give you the perhaps not so wanted news.
The discovery of human remains wrapped in plastic and left in woodland has sparked a murder investigation. Greater Manchester Police say they were alerted by a passerby yesterday evening. The scene in Kersal Wetlands Nature Reserve has been sealed off and detectives are now trying to identify who the person was. Eunice Muller reports.
Kersal Wetlands in Salford, a nature reserve and the focus of a murder investigation. A forensic tent is in place where it's believed a human torso was found wrapped in plastic. Greater Manchester Police say a passerby reported what was said to be an unknown item.
We do know that these remains are human and it would not be possible for them to have survived. From forensic inquiries so far, we believe that these remains are likely to have been here for a matter of days, and it really is a tragic case.
A number of entrances have been sealed off to allow forensic investigations, with police dogs being used as part of searches, but no arrests have been made. At this stage, police don't know whether the remains are that of a man or woman, but it's understood they believe the person is an adult. They will be widening their search to the rest of the woodland and are likely to be here for a number of days. And that includes trying to find other parts of a body. And police say inquiries in the area will include speaking to dog walkers and passers-by who may have noticed unusual activity.
Our priority now is establishing who this person is and ensuring that we carry out a diligent and respectful investigation on behalf of that person and their family, whoever they may be. We are keeping an open mind and we do all that we can to establish the circumstances.
This kind of discovery will be concerning. Police say the smallest bit of information could provide the breakthrough they need. Eunice Muller, BBC North West Tonight, Salford.
Next tonight, the Conservative MP for Hazel Grove has apologised for disclosing the personal details of fellow MPs to a man he met on a dating app who then began to blackmail him. William Ragg told the Times newspaper he'd sent intimate pictures of himself to the man, who then threatened to share them unless he gave them MPs' phone numbers. The BBC has tried to contact Mr Ragg but hasn't had a reply. This is what some of his constituents had to say today.
I've had emails from friends who are shocked, concerned, but also think he's not a very wise man anyway. So.
It's just incredible. It shows a total lack of judgment. Total.
You just don't know the full story, do you? So it's hard to say.
Rail passengers are being warned of major disruption over the next few days due to the latest strike by train drivers over pay and working conditions. Members of the ASLEF union have walked out today, affecting Avanti West Coast, while TransPennine and Northern are among the services affected tomorrow. Passengers are advised to check before travelling. Meanwhile, passengers are being warned that part of the tram network in Manchester city centre will be closed this weekend for urgent repairs. A 10-metre section of track on Portland Street needs to be replaced. Engineers will be working there between 5 o'clock on Saturday evening and 5 on Sunday morning. Now, a former Royal Mail worker from Merseyside has officially been named the oldest man in the world by Guinness World Records. John Tinniswood, aged 111 years and 222 days, was born in Liverpool on the 26th of August 1912 and now lives in a care home in Southport. We asked him for the secret to a long and healthy life.
If you don't eat too much, and so long as you exercise, both the brain and the body, you should keep them young. If you don't, they will wither. It's as simple as that.
Now, a 17-year-old boy who died after being stabbed in Manchester yesterday has been named locally as Prince Walker Ayeni. He was attacked on Raby Street in Moss Side and died from his injuries in hospital. Katie Barnfield sent this report.
Well, the police investigation is ongoing here this evening. They've had forensic teams here behind me for most of the day collecting evidence, and there is still a cordon in place. People have also been coming here to leave tributes to Prince Walker Ayeni. They've left flowers, balloons, candles, and there's also a banner saying RIP Prince. Now, it was around 4:15 yesterday afternoon that he was attacked on Raby Street just behind me in Moss Side. He was initially rushed to hospital with serious injuries, but unfortunately he died a short time later. Now, I've been speaking to people here who live here today, and one woman who didn't want to be named or identified because she said she felt scared told me that she's actually leaving the area after 17 years because she just doesn't feel safe. Now, Greater Manchester Police have called this a tragic and senseless loss of life, and they said although they haven't arrested anyone yet, they want to reassure people living around here that there will be increased police patrols in the area over the next few days. There's also a Section 60 order in place which gives officers extra powers to stop and search people. That will be in place until 8:30 tonight. They've also asked anyone with any information or doorbell footage, dashcam footage, things like that could help with their investigation to please come forward and contact them. Katie Barnfield, BBC North West Tonight in Moss Side.
Now, we've reported many times over the years about County Line's drug gangs. They recruit vulnerable youngsters and use them to carry drugs to towns and cities across the region. Well, now a programme where police and a community group help youngsters tackle their own addiction and rebuild their lives is being expanded across Cumbria. Philippa Goymer reports.
You know, if I was going to be honest, like if I knew what I was signing up for, I'd never do it.
Liam, that's not his real name. He started driving for drug dealers when he was 18. He saw it as an easy way to make money and have constant access to drugs. But he ended up falling deeper and deeper into the criminal world and into a dangerous cocaine addiction.
I got a message off a local dealer saying, you know, I've got an opportunity for you. I took a call off someone. I have no idea who he is to this day, and I think that's the scariest bit, is that I just got instructions off someone who I never knew, and I knew I had to follow him. He was the mule, and I was taking him up to you know, some place in Manchester. I had no idea what I was carrying.
Then Liam was approached by someone from One Click, and after some persuading, he agreed to go to rehab.
An officer and someone with lived experience came down to see me. You know, all I can say it was powerful. It was powerful to realise that I wasn't the only one doing this stuff, that I wasn't the only one that, you know, put my family in that position or did that to people.
We realised that we couldn't arrest our way out of the problem, so this role, the Prevent and Diversion role, was created so that we could actively engage people that are in the midst of substance misuse and make Barrow a hostile area for County Lines to organise and operate in.
The One Click programme is a partnership with Well Communities, a Cumbria-based recovery organisation.
We have a hub in the heart of the community where they do a structured programme from 7:30 in the morning till 11 o'clock at night.
It was set up by Dave, who is a former drug dealer and addict himself.
When I tell them about my story, I think the first thing they get is hope, because 9 times out of 10, I'm worse than a lot of these. It's like, I've been to the depths of despair. I've took drugs and overdosed and died and been brought back. I've been on the street, I've had mental health, I've had all this. And if I can do it, because I'm no one special, let me tell you, I'm not special. I just committed to following this process. And if you commit to following this process, you too will have a life beyond your wildest dreams.
Cumbria Police credit the programme with reducing county lines drug dealing across the Force area. And for Liam, it's been nothing short of life-saving.
It's just beautiful what recovery's done for me. You know, it's the complete opposite of all that stuff, and I'm so grateful that it is.
Now people like Liam in other parts of Cumbria can have their lives turned around too. Philippa Goymer, North West Tonight.
Now, this, as it says there, is Ron's Place, an unusual and extremely eccentric flat in Birkenhead. It was completely covered in art by tenant Ron Gittins over many years. His family only discovered his artwork after he died. But after a campaign to save and preserve the property on Silverdale Road, it has now been granted Grade 2 listed status by Historic England, as Juliet Phillips reports.
The outside of this flat gives no indication as to the weird wonders within. Ron's Place is without a doubt completely unique. Historic England agree. They've granted it Grade 2 listed status. The decor might not be to everyone's taste, but it's being described as a shining example of outsider art.
It's about freedom, real freedom of expression, and outsider artists often have this kind of compulsion, so it's not just I want to do this, it's I need to do this, and often it is their life's work, so it's a real clarity of vision, and it's also about interweaving architectural elements. It's not just art per se.
Ron Gittins transformed the flat over 33 years. From Minotaur heads to Roman bread ovens, this place really does have it all. Walking around this place, you really do get an amazing insight into Ron's imagination. When he moved in, to look at the ceiling and think, that needs a Roman soldier on it. And then to look at this fireplace and decide, I'm going to transform it into a giant lion. It really is fascinating. An unusual flat for an unusual character. Ron would regularly entertain passers-by busking in Birkenhead and would pop to the shops wearing various costumes. Ron was quite an eccentric, wasn't he?
There was only one Ron. He lived his own lifestyle, so he lived for himself, with himself, and created his own environment. There's no sign of a fridge, as far as I know. There's no sign of a cooker, so he used the fireplaces to cook his food. Yeah, he did it his own way.
2 years ago, Ron's Place was put up for auction and there were fears the art could be lost. But after a campaign to save it, an anonymous benefactor stepped in to lend the money to buy the property, which will soon be used to promote art and mental health awareness in Wirral. Ron created this world for himself, so what would he make of the fact it's to be enjoyed by others for many years to come?
I think he would be proud. I think he would like the attention. I think he would have been blown away, absolutely blown away.
Juliet Phillips, BBC North West Tonight, Birkenhead.
It's something, isn't it? It's lovely it's been saved. Now, I'm sure many of you will remember this brilliant moment when 10-year-old Alfie made headlines around the world with his emotional reaction to Manchester United's FA Cup win over Liverpool. But those tears of joy have now turned to cheers after he was invited to meet his heroes at the club's training ground. Stuart Pollett went along to join him.
Time remaining! From tears of joy at Old Trafford to a beaming smile on arrival at Manchester United's training ground.
Excited, very.
Who are you hoping to meet today?
Captain, Bruno.
Bruno's the man you want to meet. OK, fingers crossed then.
Hopefully.
How are you?
Good.
Nice to meet you finally, yeah? After a lot of videos of you. Are you happy?
Yeah.
It's going to be a little bit big for you, but we're going to go walk anyway, no?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. See you later. I'm going to be back, okay?
Thank you very much.
See you.
Are you speechless?
Of course.
How was it?
It's Bruno.
Next up, a pre-match press conference.
No critical questions for you. Very good, come. We're going to fight together. We're going to fight together.
Yeah.
Good.
I think he manages to play as well, and he does good for the club.
A nice little fist bump with you. I wonder what's happening next.
Same.
There was time for some one-to-one training tips with the manager.
One touch, two touch, one touch, two touch.
I knew that was sofas, isn't it?
Okay, very good. Very good.
Well, he's met the captain, he's got a bit of advice from the manager, but the surprises aren't over yet for Alfie. Now it's time to really go into the inner sanctum.
Shall we go inside? What is your favourite player?
Kobe Manu.
I want to introduce you to a big fan. Huh? He is 10 years, he's CDM, and he wants to be as good as you.
Alfie was able to meet the players while they had their lunch.
Have you seen his banner?
And he got to head home with 2 signed shirts.
I brought the person that make you cry of happiness. You happy?
Yeah.
Enjoy the day?
Yeah.
It's been amazing. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Cheers, buddy.
Thank you very much for coming, and thank you for supporting us.
Everywhere we turn, just someone, a famous face. It's, yeah, absolutely amazing.
I'm sure it's a memory that we'll remember the rest of our lives, and something you should probably share with your grandkids and stuff like that, don't it?
A day to remember for this superfan.
I didn't expect that.
How would you sum up this day?
Perfect. Everything about it. Absolutely amazing.
Stuart Pollitt, BBC North West Tonight, Carrington.
Now, we often hear Premier League managers moaning because they've got to play a couple of games in a week. Well, try double figures in a fortnight, because that's the unprecedented problem facing the former Burnley midfielder Paul Weller, who's now manager at North West Counties League Premier Division Colne. And after months of bad weather postponements, he and the club are dealing with the ultimate fixture backlog. Winter came and ruined the pitch at Colne Football Club, and with it any realistic hopes of a playoff push. The main aim now is to somehow play their remaining matches.
We've basically got 10 games in 14 days. If we win one of them, which is the semi-final of the Cup, that'll add another game on as well, but that's a big if. It's the last week of it, not this week coming, but the following week we've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and Saturday. We're quite lucky, we've actually got everybody fit, so I've got my squad of 17 that are all fit, raring to go. I managed to sign before the deadline another player. It's just hard on the lads playing as often, getting time off work.
Can they not extend the season?
The FA have said no. Why it has to be finished on the 20th of April, I don't know. Premier League goes on for another 4 or 5 weeks, so why not? It's crazy. But they're the rules, and they've said that if we don't fulfil our fixtures, then relegation is looming.
Why have I put shoes on here, Paul? What a plonker.
It's not good, and we've actually played on this a few times when it's been touch and go, and you just have to get on with it. Otherwise, we'd have an even bigger backlog. We've played one game where it was a very, very sandy area, very heavy area, and the ball didn't really bounce. But the rest of the pitch, to be fair, was quite good. But the referee said if we can try and avoid the sandy area during the game, which I found quite funny, I thought, yeah, I'm not sure that can really happen.
Working tirelessly to help the situation is groundsman Richard, who could be forgiven for cutting a forlorn figure.
Richard, you've got the most thankless task in football right now, haven't you?
Yeah, believe it or not. We all have all the groundsmen at every football club in our league.
The weather's been so bad here, though, hasn't it, in this part of Lancashire?
It has. It's the worst I've ever seen it. Usually this pitch recovers really well, but it's not doing it. It's just rain after rain after rain.
But there might just be hope on the horizon.
We've had a good call from a local business from Colne. They've approached us and said, look, how can we help you? We want to have a chat. So I'm in next week to have a chat with them and see what they're looking to offer. But obviously the big thing is to just completely relay the pitch and put a 3G in.
And not play Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday
no.
next season.
And you look at the weather for Saturday as well. Saturday, Monday could be called off, so there's going to be 2 more fixtures dropped in there. It's a massive impact right throughout.
Good weather synopsis there from Richard the groundsman. Could be a rival for Kay, you never know.
Now, you know this, don't say where it is, mind. You know this place quite well, don't you?
Yeah, my auntie used to live there in the 80s, I remember, and our programme producer, who shall not be named, also lives there.
It's a very, very beautiful part of the region. Certainly one of our viewers, Jo, thinks so. She's written in to tell us about where she lives, and this is where she lives, and why she loves it so much. So Kay has been to meet her and find out all about it in the latest in her series, Love Where You Live.
The Kirklees Breeze Trail offers incredible views of Holcombe Hill, the backdrop to this village, which is around half an hour from Manchester. Every year, hundreds attend the big day out on the lines with music, dancing, food and fun. Historically in Lancashire, the earliest known history of this township is 1212, when it was known as Tot in Ton. Yep, that's right, we're in Tottington, otherwise known as Totty. Joanne, you nominated Tottington for Love Where You Live. But what is so good about Tottington?
Look
at
at
this.
this.
Beautiful.
It is beautiful. Tottington is never really mentioned anywhere. Not really a lot of people know about Tottington. They know about Bury, Prestwich, Ramsbottom, but Tottington, it's a beautiful, quaint little village. And I come here every day on these walks, taking the views, swans, kingfishers, and it is just a really lovely place to live. I've lived here for 40 years and I could never imagine living anywhere else. Here it's just tranquil, serene, sunshine. Sunshine every day in Tottington.
It's also somewhere full of unusual surprises. So this dungeon opened in 1835. Now, apparently, if you'd had one too many, or 10 too many, then the landlord or landlady would lock you up in here. The police constable then took over and used this as a holding cell. But they don't open it anymore, so don't worry, if you do visit the dungeon pub, you will be safe. Or are you? Because they have given me the key. Now that's a worry. One of the saddest days in Tottington's history came during the Second World War.
On Christmas Eve, December 1944, where the German bombers dropped 5 bombs in the northwest, and one of them landed right here on this spot and destroyed a row of terraced houses. And unfortunately, 7 people died because of that. But it's got the beautiful garden where we remember people.
As well as outdoor spaces, the village boasts an array of friendly locals. Famous people who come from Tottington include Corrie actor Anthony Cotton.
Should my ears be burning?
And TV star Lisa Riley. Just as well known among residents is Sue.
I'm known as Jigsaw Lady or the Flower Lady. I sell jigsaws, very popular, especially since lockdown. We have some lovely gardens here that I look after. We've been here a long time and I wouldn't want to move anywhere else.
Lovely people, yeah. Great people, great place, and some nice pubs as well. We love it here, yeah.
It's beautiful. I've never been to Tottington. I've asked many times our producer if I can go and
get round to his
but
house.
He said no.
Honestly.
No, it looks lovely.
Truly wonderful. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Thank you to Joanne for getting in touch. Maybe, like her, you love where you live. Now, if you do me a favour, drop me an email. You see my email address there. Keep it clean. And tell me where you live. I've had a few, I'll be honest. Why you love where you live. And then maybe you and I can hang out for the day and we'll film where you are. Now then, to the weather. Ooh, a storm is on its way. Now, what does it mean for us? Well, actually, although there will be a bit of rain, it is going to be a windy weekend. Now, today, we did see a few showers, but Sarah caught this picture this afternoon, beautiful, where we got the sunny spells. It did feel quite pleasant. Temperatures tomorrow are actually going to be a lot milder. The air coming up from the south, but note the isobars tightly squeezed, so it's going to be a windy weekend. This is Storm Kathleen, and it's dragging up this southerly air, so temperatures are going to be exceptionally mild for the time of year, and that includes overnight tonight as well. So at the minute, most of us dry, but as we head into tonight, we're going to get outbreaks of rain. Now, this is a warm front dragging up that milder air. It will clear through as we head overnight, leaving most of us dry, breezy, temperatures down to about 11 or 12 degrees, which is really not far from the daytime high. Here you can see where the warning area is, 50 to 60 mile per hour wind gusts. I think for the Isle of Man we could get 65. Now that said, while there are a few showers around through the morning, once they clear through, a lot of dry and fine weather and temperatures climbing up to about 17. I think we could get 18 degrees, but bear in mind the strength of the breeze, it probably won't feel like that. So gusts into the afternoon, 40 to 60 miles per hour. Now, as we head through Saturday into Sunday, still those isobars tightly squeezed, which means it's going to be another windy day. Showers at first on Sunday, into the afternoon, sunny spells. temperatures will just be a little bit cooler. And that is your forecast.
I have so many questions about these unclean emails, but unfortunately I don't think we've got time for your answers on it.
I daren't say. I shan't reveal the sources, but thank you.
Very interesting. Thank you very much for watching. That's it. Have a lovely weekend. Bye-bye.
Take care.